Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Why is this not working? I don't know. It's not working. It's not showing up on Facebook. There we go. Now I can get somewhere. Sorry for viewers. I talk to myself. Sometimes I need expert advice. Just got to get a few people here. That's all. Uh, oh, let me get that person in here too. I forgot about him. Uh, got a viewer over on TikTok or YouTube. What's up, viewer on YouTube? Two viewers. One on Facebook, one on YouTube. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm doing this tonight because I have several announcements to make the transition from the Carolina Nexus podcast to the Carolina Nexus podcast reads um, more streamlined. So as soon as I get some more people in here, I'll put the information you need on the screen. We will go down this dark and twisted alley and explain everything you need to know about the new format for Carolina Nexus podcast. If you've never saw my show, we talk about a host of things, but the primary topic is Carolina Nexus book series. It's a book series written by me. This started as a joint project between me and my daughter. She has a busy life of her own, so I kept on with the ball rolling, and that's how we do things. When she has time and she's not working, and I'm able to match up my schedule with hers, she comes online here with me, and we do the show together. If she can't, she can't. That's how the cookie crumbles. So when I started writing books way back in high school, um, I never thought I'd go as far as I have, and I've always told my mother and my grandmother and my aunts and uncles and everybody that I was going to publish a book one day. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know you're watching. Let me know who's watching, because who's watching matters too. Because this is for the diehard fans, the ones that show up regardless of what I'm talking about, and they interact. But I've always told everybody in my life that I was going to publish a book, and I finally did it. And then, like, the ball just kept rolling. One book turned into three, turned into six, turned into seven. I've got three digital only books right now, with two of those digital only books eventually becoming physical copies. So I'm waiting for that to drop. Looking at a June release date. I've got prequels in the works. I've got a whole bunch of ideas for this universe to expand it and keep the stories going even after the original story ends. Um, but my main process for Carolina Nexus podcast was to get eyes and ears on the series. And initially, I started doing it to discuss the characters, discuss the lore, and the thought process behind why I did certain things or how I did certain things. And nobody seemed really interested except for a handful. And for those handful that were interested, fear not, I'm changing the format, but I'm not changing it drastically. My wife actually asked me to keep the format the same because she enjoys getting inside my brain about why I did certain things. So there's that. Um, right now, as it stands, Monday will be the start of the new format. And the start of that new format um, is simply it's going to be an hour long show. The first half of the show, I will read from my books. I'll read a chapter an episode. And after that chapter has been read, we will dive into chapter discussion and I'll answer any questions you have about what's going on in the chapter. Um, for continuity's sake, this is why I'm holding the show tonight. I want to find out you, the fans. I want to know if you want me to read it in chronological order or in the order the books were released. It's a very big thing, and I want your opinions. Would you rather it be chronological or would you rather it be in release order? The plan is to read one chapter per episode until the book is read, discuss each chapter at the end of the episode, and then move on to the next book. Um, but if enough people are into it, we may change that format. I need thoughts and opinions in the comment section, guys. Let me know how you feel about this. Do you feel that the way I'm having it set up is the correct way to go? Do you think I should change it? I need the feedback. Amber says chronological. Chronological means I start with the prequels and roll into the main series, which draws a lot of issues. Amber, you haven't thought about this. The prequel trilogy is not finished. Only one book has been released. So if I'm reading it chronologically, that means I have to stop writing Casey Elkins and Hostile Hometown Justice to work on the prequels. Is that what a fan would want me to do? And for those of you that don't believe, this is my wife watching over on YouTube, and she wants me to do it chronological. So that is one vote chronological because I'm a blonde. I'm going to do this way. One vote. Zero. And I'll put this at the bottom of the page. Actually, no, we're going to do it differently. I forgot I could do this. Bear with me, guys. I taught myself a little bit. It's okay. No one has to know. I like this sooner. Up 2 votes for that. My daughter Paisley is apparently watching too and decides she wants to do chronological as well. So let's go back over here and change this. So Amber, you didn't answer my question though. Do you want the reads to? When doing it chronologically, that means I have to stop writing everything else to finish the prequel trilogy. Is that something you could wait on? If the music's too much, let me know, guys. I just can't handle sitting here in silence while I'm waiting on people to come in. It kind of irks my nerves. I'm not on screen, Amber, but say yes, I'm willing to do it if you're willing to go that route. Um, Again, if you're just joining the show, welcome aboard. We're here to take a vote on the reading order of my books when I start reading each one chapter per episode. I've got chronological read or release date read. 2 votes chronological read right now. I'll update it throughout the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm also here to make some updates. I've already explained it over it again. The format going forward on Mondays and Mondays only will be the read dates. I will read one chapter per episode every Monday. That'll be the first half of the show. Second segment of the show will be chapter discussion for you guys to ask questions about the scenery, about why I chose that location, that sort of thing. Why this character acted this way. Any question you guys can think of while I'm reading, bring it to my attention after I finish reading. Don't do it as I'm reading. Write your questions down on a piece of paper or in Messenger while I'm reading, and then put them into the chat one at a time. I'll bring it on the screen. I'll answer it. And then you may have follow-up questions. If you have follow-up questions, feel free to ask those as well. I will answer them as much as possible. I got another vote for chronological order. So let me go fix this real quick. And I think that guy just wants the chronological order to be done so he ain't got to read the prequel. That's my personal opinion, though. So it is what it is, and it was what it was. Thanks for your input. I will keep up the updates. So on Tuesday nights, I will do an episode on Tuesday night, and the Tuesday episode is going to be called Carolina Nexus After Dark. It doesn't necessarily have to be after dark. It's just a subtitle I chose for a very late night one night. That will be where I continue character and lore discussions and have you guys come in and ask your questions about the other. That is per my wife because she enjoys those episodes. it gives her something to look forward to, as far as questions and such when she can't get enough. Cause I don't answer her questions when she's sitting beside me or we're going down the road in the car. I make her ask them on here. It gives me something to do on the show. I heard to say that. Again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. If you're on YouTube, subscribe so every time I go live, it dings you. If you're on Facebook and you want to be added to the mailing list, let me privately and I'll send you a message when I'm online. So that means, as of right now, chronological read, I'm putting everything else on hold to finish up the trilogy that takes place before Hometown Justice, just to give you guys a heads up. There'll be no more Hometown Justice or Casey Elkins content released until the prequel series is finished. Also, when I started the show, I promised that I was going to talk about more than my books. So Tuesday show, Carolina Nexus After Dark. That'll be when I do special guests to come on to talk to me about the books or me about their projects. That'll be when I do the video gaming shows, the Magic the Gathering shows, the anime shows, because I plan on doing those as well. But it'll be After Dark episodes on Tuesdays. So Mondays is dedicated explicitly to reading and answering questions about what I read. I'm trying to, because I've had plenty of people ask me about audiobooks. The issue with audiobooks for me is pricing. Uh, Getting somebody that has a stable voice to do the audiobook won't break. While reading is pricey, it's like $100 per hour. Then getting a someone to host it for you is also another $200 to $300. I've thought about doing it myself, but that unfortunately is going to be something I have to take care of over the summer because I've got to get better recording equipment. I did have a father gift me a camera. I'll go pick it up. I can't wait. It'll be a better quality camera than what I have. Also, I have a small camera that I can't wait to use. I just got to figure out how to get it connected to my computer. I'm not buying a card for it, but I have this small camera. And as soon as it is able to go live, I will be using it. Again, Amber requires certain recording equipment to make the quality of sound better, and then I have to find somebody to host it. It's a work in progress, and over the summer, I will get the equipment for us to do the audiobooks and do it like that. Because I want to be able to do it on something besides YouTube, where if I'm trying to listen to it while I'm driving down the road, I can lock my phone screen and let it play while the phone's locked. Can't do that with YouTube. Can't do that with audiobook without paying for it. And I'm trying to avoid paying for it. That's If it's free, it's for me. I hate to be a cheapskate, but these books are already costing me an arm and a leg. I don't want to put more money into them, and I'm not making the money out of them just yet. Um, I'm going to talk to my boy Chuck. Shout out to IMR Ivan Righteous. See if he can help me figure out how to get the audiobooks posted and hosted, because if he knows ways, then we can do it. Chuck is my go-to guy. He's like Scott. I can reach out to Scott as the producer of this show and bounce ideas off of him like I did Tuesday after I got off the phone. That part. Free is always better. But the when I got off the show Monday night with Scott, I called Scott up and we talked for about an hour and a half about the show and how to get there. And he gave me the idea, and I liked his idea better than I liked my own, so I stuck with it. That's why Mondays is going to be dedicated to reading, and Tuesdays is going to be dedicated to After Dark and the special guests, the character discussions, etc., etc. I do still plan on bringing people that the characters are based off of onto the show, discussing it with them, discussing their character, the differences in their character. My biggest issue right now is people that gave me permission to reveal their names on and who's based off of them haven't read to the part where their character's introduced yet, so I gotta get them people reading. If you guys know them, you know any of my friends, read. Tell them to come to the show and listen to me read. They can't read it themselves and they ain't got the attention span. If they're like Vinny, you have the attention span of a gnat. Tune in to the Character Nexus on Mondays. I'll read for you and we can discuss the characters. And when I get to a character based off you, if you think it's based off you and you want to know but you don't want the rest of the world to know, you can ask me privately. I've also, for those of you that don't know, just announced this last Tuesday and Monday, I'm holding a contest here on Carolina Nexus to help my community out and give back. So I know there's plenty of graphic artists on my friends list. I see their work every day. It's amazing. If they're wanting to get exposure, and it's not going to cost them a thing, but to take time to design a book cover, one book cover per person for Hometown Justice Hostile, design it, send it to me. I've got a panel of judges that's going to judge the best one. You're going to judge it on 4 categories: originality, theme, creativity, and how far away how far it stands out. So those 4 categories, what it's going to be judged based off of. They will choose one winner, and that winner will receive a copy of Hometown Justice Hostile that is unedited. It still says not for resale on it. They'll also receive a copy of Hometown Justice Hostile that has their cover that they designed printed. It'll be the first printing of it. They will get it. A letter of authenticity, because both will be signed by me. And inside the front jacket, they will get illustrator credits. So if you guys know anybody, or if you are a graphic designer yourself, tell them how to enter. You enter by sending your work, design your work, send it to me in a PDF file or a JPEG file at the Carolina Nexus Podcast at gmail.com. I will get the entries. The final day for entries is May 31st. Judging will start June the 4th. It will take about a week. The preliminary judging will take a week, and then I'll come on here and I'll show everybody the ones that survived the preliminary judging. We'll let you, the fans, vote along with the judges, and then we'll narrow it down to two finalists, and then the judges and the fans will vote on who wins. So that's the way it's going to go. I hope you guys are excited for that because I am. I can't wait to see the work that you guys put into it. But again, you, my fans, the people that's watching right now, don't have to physically do the work. Let's say you know somebody, and I'll use my friend Jonesy. I know you're watching. If Jonesy's watching and he knows his friend Matt does graphic design, Jones can get Matt to design it, and with Matt's permission, enter the competition. And then him and Matt can decide who gets product if they win. This is about getting artists known. So if you know an artist that is struggling to get their stuff out and they want a chance to do it, it's not going to cost them arm and a leg. This is how we do it. I'm all about giving back to the community. All right, guys. So far, voting stands at chronological read order 3, release order 0. There he is. Jonesy says it'd be a decent idea. It's just something I thought of. One of the people I used to work with had graphics that he was trying to sell, and he was struggling with it. This is an idea that I pitched to him. He has entered. So now that he's entered, I need more people to compete against him. And I'm trying to get everybody that I know to enter. So if you know somebody, let them know. Now, I'm not promising they're going to get famous off my books because I haven't gotten famous off my books, but it's free publicity. If you guys want the publicity, this is how you do it. I got my publicity by going on Scott Larson's #Truth, a pro wrestling podcast, and started talking about my books. And by the grace of God, every time I went on Scott's podcast to talk about my books, my sales went up for that quarter. So that's when I decided to do my own. And they haven't gone up as high as they did when I was doing Scott's podcast or made appearances on Scott's podcast, but they have gone up since I started doing my own. Fell off when I disappeared for a month, and I lost half of my viewers that tuned in every episode. But I'm trying to rebuild. I had to take a month off. I'm back. We're going to get this thing rolling again. We're going to do it right. I got a plan in place. Before, when I was doing it, I had no plan. I just went with it. Now I have a plan in place. My producer's, he's hands-on with this, and we're going to make this thing work. Paisley can enter the contest. And again, as I discussed with JJ, I'm sorry, I'm going to call him Johnny. I call him JJ my entire license. I know the dude. If you're not into making digital art on your computer, you draw it, and I'll get it put into the contest. That is no big deal. I was going to do it for Casey Elkins, but my niece, I love her to death. She asked me in her own special way, Uncle Buck, can you let me draw your book? I want to get better at drawing. Honey, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. I'll put your artwork on my book cover. I don't care. If she wants to get better at it, then let her get better at it. Paisley wants to enter, we'll let Paisley enter. But Paisley has to understand, I'm not doing the judging. The viewers and a team of judges are doing the judging, so I don't have any control over who wins the contest. I don't know what AI is generating this music I'm hearing, but it's actually pretty decent music for it not to have any words. So I'm going to keep this here. More information about Monday and Tuesday's show. Monday's show will be PG-13, no cussing unless it's in the book. No cussing by the viewers, no cussing by me unless I'm reading it in the book. Tuesday's show, the reason it's called After Dark, it's raw, it's unscripted, it's in your face. There's only 3 rules you have to follow for Tuesday's show. No politics, no religion, no sex. Everything else is fair game. And I think it goes without saying, no racial profiling or any of that because I'm not racist. I've been called racist by several people because of one of the characters in my books. But I am not. I'm the furthest thing from racist as you can be. I love everybody for the most part, so they give me a reason not to. I can get along with anybody, so they give me a reason not to. So, with that being said, I'm guessing it's 4 rules: no race, no politics, no sex, no religion, anything goes. Tuesday nights only, though. But you can come on Tuesday nights. You can bring up your favorite characters from the series. We'll discuss them, that sort of thing. Mondays is strictly for reading. It will be PG-13, except for what I read in the books, because my books are not. My books are made for young adults, so the language is a little coarse. But there is no. There's nothing that a 13-year-old can't see in the book. There's blood and guts, and that's about it. I agree with that too. I hate everyone equally. Oh, all my viewers on Facebook left. I guess I scared you guys off. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit exhausted. Makes sense. I appreciate the dedication. I don't know what happened to Amber. Also, while I'm reading on Mondays, I'm gonna be the people that grew up in the Popeville area and the Blacksburg area when I get to Casey Elkins. I'm gonna be asking you guys to find the Easter eggs because I hit them throughout the series. It's one of Amber's favorite games to try to figure out what I'm talking about. Those of you that didn't grow up in the know, just to pay attention and see if you can catch them the next time you're reading yourself. I did take a lot of creative liberties with the show, or the show, the books. Um, and it's not because Hopeful is boring. I mean, Hopeful is boring, but that's beside the point. Um, I took the creative liberties because I was told that I couldn't use Hopeful as a setting for my book. And that was the whole point of me writing the book. I wanted to be able to say, there's this book set in a small town I grew up in. So I took the creative liberties. I rearranged the town a lot. Um, but overall, I think I did a great job of keeping it as close to 100% modern as possible. Um, bear in mind, the prequel does take place in 19. I want to say it's 1998. I don't know. I don't have the prequel with me right now, but the main character is in middle school. His last year of middle school, first year of high school. Um, a lot of stuff happens between the first book in the trilogy and the last book of the trilogy, but it covers a lot of stuff that leads up to the modern day, which is Hometown Justice. Hometown Justice takes place initially in 2019, but by the end of the first trilogy, it's in 2021, give or take. And then when on Hometown Justice Hostile, it's um, oh, mic check 1 2 1 2. Had to switch earbuds. My other one was dying. You're right. She probably is lost in some headlights somewhere. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. It looks like I'm reading in chronological order because no one voted against it. Um, Jones, I don't guess you have any questions to ask me before I end this live, do you? Yeah, I'm still here, Amber. Welcome back. Since you had to run and hide. Billy James, thank you for watching. I see you lurking. Well, his name is Tyson Oliver. He's named after Taekwondo from the book series and Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers. He's got to know how to fight. It only makes sense. Ooh, that brings me to another thing. As I'm doing on this live, if it doesn't pertain to the questions being asked, I'm not bringing your comment on the screen. Um, that really drives down viewership. So if I see your comment, I'll address it, but I won't bring it on the screen unless it pertains to what I'm talking about. So what's your question, Amber? Hit me with it. No, don't throw the baby at me. Ugh. Since she showed up and is going to ask a question, it's going to take her 10 years, but so sorry for the wait, guys. The next characters we'll discuss on Tuesday are going to be Rigo. No, it's not Rigo. I have to look at a previous episode and find out, but I'm pretty sure it's um it was Rigo or Aiden, and I want to say Trey Smith. I could be wrong. I will double check and let you know. And a lot happened since that episode where I decided that, and I've got to go back and look. So after this episode is over, I will go find out for you. And my note that I had everything written down in has disappeared. I don't know where it's at. It's not on my desk here. So hang with me. I'll figure it out for you. Rigo Harris was one. Eden Jamerson's the other. Sticking with the Casey Elkins characters, um, due to that's where we left off at, and we're doing a recap show. So any questions you've already asked about Rigo, feel free to ask them again. Maybe new reviewers don't know about them. Okay, so the idea for Casey Elkins came from a brainstorming session with one of my best friends, who I'm not allowed to name, so I won't mention her name on here. But she and I were discussing and what we would like to see from a book series if we had one set in Blacksburg. Since I wrote Hometown Justice set in Hopeful, she was trying to convince me to write one set in Blacksburg because I grew up in Blacksburg just as much as I did Hopeful. And she said, I don't want you having to explain how a character based off me got to Hopeful, so we'll just do it here. And this was before Aftermath was even written. It was right on the tails of Hometown Justice Rebellion being released. We had this discussion late at night one night. It was when she lived with us, Amber, um, at the Wilkinsville house, and she and I were discussing it one night. You had went to bed, and it was me, her, and Caitlin. We were sitting on the couch watching. I forget what we were watching on TV. It's something Caitlin wanted to watch, but the internet went out, and we started talking about it while we waited for her to come back up. And the idea was there because I had planned on introducing a character based off her in Aftermath. Anyway, she pitched the idea, and when she mentioned vampires and lichens and da 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 da, Caitlin immediately looked at her phone and got interested. So when the editor asked me to write the books, because it had the character had a great response from the study group, the test group, I was like, okay, cool. I'll take this idea. And to her credit, she has, for this part, helped me with ideas. She was the one that suggested we introduce the preternatural universe one species at a time. She was the one that suggested the lore change. She was the one that suggested the hierarchy of vampires. She was the one that suggested vampires initially be thought of to be extinct and secretly been living underground for hundreds of years. All of those ideas came from her. It wasn't for me. My idea was initially it was Casey was going to be an investigator, a lone investigator, similar to Laurel K. Hamilton's Anita Blake. She's a petite female that everyone underestimates because she's small, but she packs amazing abilities that they underestimate her for not. They don't think she has them because she's mortal. But then, as I started writing the series, the idea dawned on me to give her a team. And so I created the Blacksburg branch of RIPD, made her the senior agent there, gave her the team of Aiden and Rigo in book 1, and then I introduced new teammates in book 2, and she's getting another teammate at the end of book 3, and so forth and so on. And it's just going to be that much more. And the way I'm approaching writing the series, it's going to be NCIS season 1, where Gibbs was building his team because he recruited Kate and then he recruited McGee. Well, Casey's building hers instead of all of it at once in the first season. She's building hers across a few books. It's going to culminate in a Avenger style crossover where they face down the big bad Azrael Dry. So be on the lookout for that. As you guys can tell, Amber is excited. She likes asking questions about the book. And to be honest, I like answering them. I do it in front of the camera to say, you didn't answer these questions. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Now, for Casey Elkins' book three, my friend that has been passing me the ideas, she had nothing to do with that. And as I explained to Caitlin, when Caitlin was asking me questions about it, because Caitlin's read the unedited version, it's available on Kindle. Caitlin read it, and she was asking me. It felt more like a continuation of the Daywalker than an actual series. I was like, yeah, it does, but it also explains some things. So, reading book three, Casey Elkins, you got to imagine it is the Daywalker Part Two instead of just a standalone series. So Casey is naturally a brunette, but she's going to change her hair color eventually. Um, and that's because the person she's based off of is naturally a brunette and changes her hair color a lot. And I think when I start doing the changing of the hair color, that's going to be showing Casey's mood. But you're right, Joan. She is just crazy. And now that I'm missing on YouTube, guys, um, it's okay. You guys can do that in private message and not on my YouTube comments. Sweet. Amber, I forgot to mention, since I got to stop every project I've got in the works to put it on hold um, to work on the prequels, that means that new series you caught me working on is going to be put on hold too. You sure you want that? Yes, unfortunately, I had to go up on the prices because Kindle forced me to. Um, Initially, I was trying to do it as cheap as possible, and then Kindle said, "Nope, you're not making money, so we can't print these for you if you keep the prices that low." So I had to up the prices. I apologize. I am working on getting the stuff to print them myself. So there's that. So if you can hold out and give me till um, mid July, early August, I'll give you the test prints. Hey Jones, which ones are you missing? I know you don't have any of the Casey Elkin series, but you might be missing Tagapagon and Aftermath, and then the Casey Elkin series. If I'm not mistaken, you may have Aftermath. I don't know. It's in the bottom of her purse. Okay, so what me and my wife are talking about, guys, I have another project that I'm working on. It's another novel series set in the Carolina Nexus universe, but it has none of the characters in it at all. Um, Without going into any details about it, all I can tell you is it's going to branch some of the darker areas of RIPD. Ah, okay. See, I thought you had ordered Tagapagum. I wasn't 100% sure. So you need Tagapagum, you need Aftermath, the Idol, the Daywalker, and then when Hostile and the Mist release, you'll need those two. Because you're like me, you're like Amber, you don't like reading it on Kindle, but they should all be available on Kindle Unlimited if you have access to that. It's cheaper to get them on Kindle. They're $5 digitally. They're like 18 to almost $20 physical. Amazon's punishing you for ordering physical shit. I can't understand it, but that's how it works. That part, and I think that's why they're punishing people for getting the physical copies instead of the digital. We do call you crazy. You just don't listen. Until you check one out of the library and it smells like gym socks. That part. And yes, it was the high school library. You should know you act like one. All right, guys. I guess I'm gonna call it a day. Um, the chronological read order is how we're gonna read it. So I will start with Tagapagon on Monday. We'll read the first chapter, the prologue in the first chapter, maybe, and then dive into the chapter discussion. I can't wait, you guys. Be sure you tune in 7 p.m. Monday.